I'll talk for a few minutes, and I'm going to have Chantel Rockman come up and talk about benefits, and then I'll jump back in and we'll talk about education and job training for special needs kids and adults. Because some of us, it's not just kids, like for me. So I'll give you a quick introduction on me. My husband and I, God, I'm old, so no comment, 30 years ago adopted our first kid. Jason was just about to turn 7, Native American and Hispanic, and had never been to school. They told us that he was special needs. It was just his foster family weren't feeding him or taking him to school. It's a simple little problem. He had a lot of facial scars and everything for attacks in the different California foster home system. He was about to turn 7 and had been in 19 foster homes by age 7. That's the system in California. So he was our first, and he was our introduction to the world of having a special needs kid, which it turned out he was not. And he went on to serve in the Marines, and he's now a father of 4 with his own business. But that introduced us to it. I grew up with a cousin with Down syndrome, and who was adopted, who was severely abused. My aunt and uncle saw a man whipping on a 5-year-old Down syndrome kid, and my uncle knocked the man out, took the kid to the police. The police said, well, there's nothing we can do. Mom walked out, Dad's a drunk. And they said, well, we'll take him. And that's how we got my cousin Jeff. And this back in the 60s, guys, I'm that old. So there wasn't anything back then for special needs kids. There was nothing. But we adopted, Jason was our first. Our second was Brian. We got him in Utah. And he was one of the worst abuse cases they had in Utah history up to that time. He was born at 31 weeks gestation with a 0.28 blood alcohol level. Immediate brain bleed, immediate issues. Mom stole him from the hospital when he was about 3 months old, and nobody saw him again until he was 4, when the police were arresting Mom for drugs and was moving stuff, heard something squeak, and it was Brian. He was 15 pounds, shoved in a closet. That was at age 4. They told us, don't adopt this kid, he'll never walk or talk. Brian went on to play high school football. He lettered in 2 sports. He's married to Sarah, who's also special needs. They are the Barbie and Ken of special ed, and he works. So don't ever let them give you a limit. Our next one was Kevin. Kevin was Brian's half-brother. And when they found out Mom was pregnant again, the family had her locked up into a treatment center. So, she had 3 months of drug and alcohol exposure, but after that, nothing. So when she had Kevin, she petitioned the court to get a visitation because she was clean and sober, right? Yeah, in that month, she got back on heroin again, and she was determined that she was not going to lose another baby. So she took him from the social worker's arms and slammed him into the cement trying to kill him. So Kevin has massive brain trauma from that and a crushed skull. We got him when he was 6 months old, again told, oh, you don't want to adopt this one, they'll never be able to do anything. Kevin, now, not only is he in vocational school, he's about to pass his Microsoft 365 certification. Okay, so do not let people say your kids can't do anything. My youngest is Jared. He's the one we made this center for. Okay, my son is the smartest F student you will ever meet in your life. He is brilliant, and he can't get out of his way for 2 seconds. He is so ADHD and high-functioning autism. That kid, I mean, he would drive any of you crazy or to drink within 10 minutes. That kid, and he's funny. Oh my God, he is so witty, and he is so obnoxious. And he's tried 3 jobs and got fired within weeks from driving everybody crazy. So we started this school for him. He was at D20 at the time, and I told them that he needed to take CTE classes. He needed a job when he graduated high school. And they said, no, we don't let kids with behaviors go into CTE classes and kids on IEPs. I said, he's a genius. Why can't he go in? No, he's too behavioral. Well, when we were in the middle of suing them, COVID broke out. So that kind of put an end to that because they didn't offer CTE to anybody for a year, and he graduated then. I started skills to make sure kids like my son and kids like your family members never have to worry about what's going to happen to my kid. Where are they going to go when they graduate high school? What are they going to do for a job? Where are they going to live? What are they going to do? I'm sorry, I toured all the day programs out there. It was coloring books and walking around the mall. You've seen them, the special needs group that walk around the mall and do nothing and learn nothing, and that's supposed to be independent living and job training. It's like, are you kidding? What are you teaching them to be ducklings following behind? No. So we started skills with the one goal of jobs for anybody who wants them. And I don't care how disabled you are, I can find something you can do. And we'll show you when we take a tour later. I'll show you some of the things, and you guys have the chips. We'll talk about the chips because you can see our wonderful straight lines, right? Yes, our person with cerebral palsy was on our closing line this time, and you know what? So we didn't sell these and we give these away for free. But it's a job that she's doing and earning a paycheck on. So we'll talk about jobs, we'll talk about school districts, what they owe you, what you can demand. My husband's an retired Air Force officer. And one day I had to take Jason, my oldest, in for tonsillectomy. And I said, honey, you gotta cover the IEP for Brian. Now Brian is speech affected. He had balance issues. He's the one who was starved down to 14 pounds. I said, you've got to take him. You've got to do this. Don't agree to anything. Don't agree to one thing. I will come back to him. I will take care of it. I can handle this. I run a whole base. Oh, yeah, Air Force Colonel. Oh, I got this. Yeah, he signed away speech therapy for my kid. I went in the next morning. I told them that either they put speech back or they'll be talking to my lawyer, who I had on speed dial at that point because of all the fun we have with that school district in California. So, yeah, I will tell you what your rights are because that's a big deal. A lot of people don't tell you, hey, you have rights. You have so many rights for your kid. And there's so many programs. And you don't have to worry what's going to happen to your kid if something happens to you. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Unload that. Take that off your shoulders. We got enough to worry about as parents with special needs kids. That's one worry you don't need to have. Between Chantel and I, this is what we do, okay? We're here to give hope to families with kids that have challenges. We're here to help them get the help they need, help them get the supports they need, create big giant places like this just for our kids. And that's what we do. So come on up. I'll let her go, and then she's gonna have to leave and we'll talk.
Very good. Thank you, Randee.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanna
pass one of these out. That would be great. While she's doing that, I'll give you a little background on myself. I'm Chantel Rockman. I am currently with Integrating Supports Colorado. However, Randee and I just created a partnership. You'll see on the front here, it's Employment Edge. Randee mentioned to you it's all about work and resources. Everybody with a disability, I believe, has a place in the employment world. There's doing something. And a show of hands, how many of you have heard the phrase, if I or my child are receiving any services, they cannot work? Anybody?
Oh, on all four of mine.
Wow. How many have heard, if my child has a disability, they can't receive waiver funding or Medicaid funding? Anybody? No? Okay. Well, we're going to talk about that because if you have anybody in your household with a disability and who wants to work, who I believe should work, there's a lot of benefits that are involved, from Social Security, you've heard of that, SNAP benefits, you've heard of that, TANF housing, you've heard of that, Medicaid, you've heard of that, Medicare, you've heard of that. We're here to help you navigate all of those services, from whether it's applying for services you've never heard of, what is case management and waiver funding? What are those services my son or daughter or family member could be getting? We're here to help you apply for those services so you can utilize all of those benefits and services that they provide at no cost to you while receiving employment training through Skills Academy. So the first page, what are benefits? A lot of people get confused. There's a lot of jargon. There's a lot of acronyms out there. People are like, SSA? What's that, right? And that's Social Security Administration. SNAP. If you go out on the website, there's SNAP benefits, which are food stamp benefits, and then there's also other SNAP benefits. So it's knowing the language, knowing what you can and can't get. Randee just mentioned, don't ever turn away services. There you have rights. You have rights to receive some of these services. It's just navigating these big systems, right? Social Security Administration is huge. It is huge. And a lot of people just get frustrated by the language and they're like, I don't understand it. They throw up their hands. And you know what? That's a lot of services that you could be receiving for your son or daughter. So what are benefits? Benefits are government-funded programs that are provided to people based on characteristics such as income, disability, financial need. It could be Social Security or SSA. That's SSI or SSDI benefits. Local and public assistance. That's energy assistance. So if you're low income, how many of you knew you could get energy assistance?
I didn't. Yeah.
Right. If you're low income, you can get assistance for, in the winter when it's cold here in Colorado and our heating bills go sky high, you can get assistance for that.
Especially if you have a disabled child, because it's considered a need.
Yep.
And you can even get it if you're not low income, if you have a disabled child in the house.
Yep. Yeah. Or there's TANF. That's temporary assistance for needy families. There's A&D. That's food to needy disabled. So that is if you have a disabled child in your house and you're in the process of applying for Social Security benefits, so that's SSI, during that time period from application to approval, you can get cash assistance. It's about $200. Some people may say, hey, it's $200. Some people may say it's not worth it. I really don't use the $200. I don't know about you, but I have a couple bills that $200 would pay for. Housing assistance. So if you have a son or daughter that is, has a disability but can live on their own and need housing assistance, we get you connected to the right housing authority. And then there's all kinds of other...
benefits counseling, what is it? That is where we help you navigate that system. So we are going to write a very comprehensive report for you so you know exactly what benefit and how it impacts work. Because if you go to work, which every person with a disability should be able to do, is going to have what's called earned income. And that work is going to impact every single one of those benefits, whether it's Medicaid, whether it's SSI, whether that's housing, it's going to affect your rent. So these benefits are going to be impacted in some fashion. So we help you understand what that is going to look like. So you get a very comprehensive report. You get an Excel worksheet that if somebody starts working and you're like, ooh, I don't know if I should take this raise or this bonus because I don't know how it's going to impact all of these benefits, you will know after we do a benefits plan because it's a plug and play. You're able to plug your income into these documents and you'll get a very detailed report and you'll be able to say, you know what, no, I really have to turn that raise down because that will affect my Social Security. So we help you navigate that. When to seek benefits counseling or benefits planning. Anytime you're looking at employment or education, you're going to want to seek a benefits planner. While you're conducting a job search, that's one thing that Randee is going to talk about tonight, about those job searches. Once you've gone through the program, what does that look like? How do you get a job? Things like that. When you're working with DVR, how many of you know what DVR is? It's the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. If you have a family member, son or daughter that has a disability, you absolutely are going to want to get connected to DVR. And that's one of the things that we help you with. There's a form that Randee has. It's a referral. We'll get it over to DVR, get you connected. DVR pays for employment services and education services. So they'll send you here, get you connected. All of that is paid for. If they want to go to school, instead of going to the employment track, want to go to an education track, they'll get you connected. They'll help pay for tuition, mileage, books. All of those things are paid for by the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. So another agency will get you connected to. Obtaining any employment. If you're currently working, if your son or daughter or family member is currently working and there's those changes, you're going to want to get some benefits planning because, like I said, any change can impact any of those benefits. And then transition student. If you have a son or daughter that is ages 14 to 24, you're going to want to receive benefits planning.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So again, and I said this a minute ago, what can we help you with here? We can help you with all of these benefits, Social Security benefits, applying for Medicaid, Medicare, waiver funding. If your child has a disability and they qualify for a waiver, which is through the case management agency. So here in Colorado Springs, that's TRE, or also known as the Resource Exchange. Inside a waiver, it's funded by Medicaid, and there's all sorts of services you could get if you're on a waiver. You could get transportation services, you could get homemaker services, you could get mentorship, you can get supportive employment. There's a huge list of services they could be receiving. We can help you get connected to that. We can also help you get connected to food stamps if you're not already receiving those. Housing, DVR, and TANF. The next page is supportive employment services. We really believe that the entrance into workforce starts here. We open up a lot of different avenues for increased community participation opportunities, and we really push that continued career exploration, job placement, and training, which Randee is going to talk about. Supportive employment really is real world work for real wages for anybody with a disability. One of the things, the next page is job coaching that we can do, again, paid for by a couple different funding sources, primarily DVR. Job coaching is when your son or daughter or family member gets a job and they need additional supports on the job. It's not doing the job for them. It is they're helping them train and learn the tasks that they need. So they'll have a job coach on site with them at their job. That looks different for every single person because everybody's needs are different. So an individual may need a lot of extra support, and so that job coach may be with them their entire shift every day they're working. Or that job coach may be there for just a couple of hours. Maybe it's in the morning, maybe it's in the evening, maybe they struggle with what are their tasks when they're closing or opening or during the day. So that just depends on everybody's needs. So that's job coaching. PAT, or personal adjustment training. This is training provided to help individuals with disabilities develop those compensatory skills or to adjust to that work life. So PAT hours maybe the individual struggles with time management and they just can't get out of bed in the morning because they don't know how to set an alarm. Or maybe it's personal hygiene. Maybe they struggle with taking a shower every day and knowing what's appropriate and how to go to work. Clean, freshly shaved, your hair brushed. You're not wearing open-toed shoes if you're working in a factory. So it's learning all of those skills that they need to be successful at work. That's personal adjustment training. And that also includes travel. So if they need travel training, I know that how to take a bus. Do they know that the bus stop is 2 blocks down, or it's 6 blocks down, and it's going to take them either 5 minutes to get to the bus stop or 20 minutes. Well, those, you got to take that into consideration, right? When you have to be to work at 9 o'clock. Or how many stops? How to talk to people on the bus. Is it safe to talk to people on the bus? So it's not just, here's a few worksheets on how to do travel training. We're out there. We're helping them actually figure this out, which is really important, because that is probably one of the biggest barriers to work is transportation. How are they going to get to and from? You know, because if you want to be independent, you can't always rely on mom and dad to take you to work. So, and it's public transportation. So that's all done in PAT. Then PREETS, or pre-employment transition services, that's also done here. And that is for typically transition-aged individuals. And there's 5 different categories to PREETS. So you got job exploration. So we're teaching them, doing assessments, getting them exposed to different careers. You know, there may be somebody who really likes to work with pets. Well, we're really going to dive deep into what kind of careers you could have working with pets. So bless you. So you have job exploration, you have work readiness skills. It's all of those skills that you need to know, be prepared. It's budgeting, it's again hygiene, it's relationships, it's building self-esteem, it's building self-confidence. Then there's self-advocacy. A lot of people with disabilities struggle self-advocating for themselves. They don't know how to speak up. They don't know when to speak up. So often, individuals with disabilities, we all know this, get beaten down, right? You can't. No, that won't happen. You can't do this. Don't try to do that. Don't ask questions, right? No. Ask questions. You have every right to know, how can I exceed in life? How can I be independent in life? How can I go further in life? We want them to ask those questions. We're going to teach them how to be their own self-advocates. Then the other one is secondary education. Work isn't for everybody. I mean, we know people who, you know, are like, I don't want to go to work. I'd rather go to school. I'd rather get an education. That's a track, secondary education. We teach them, what is a FAFSA? How do you apply? What is other financial aid? What is it like to live on campus? You know, what is it like to have to go and ask my teacher questions? We teach them all how to be successful in doing that. There's actually 5, I think it's 5 now, 5 universities in the state of Colorado that have a program for people with disabilities. So they get to experience college life. They get to live on a college campus, but not necessarily have to take all of the college courses that a typical person would take. They can walk out of college with a certificate, and it still is considered college credit. So that's the 5th part of PREETS, and that is all done here at Skills as well. So that is what we can do with Employment Edge. That's all here. Again, if you have anybody that you know that's interested in work, you're probably automatically going to want to reach out and have them meet with me. We'll do benefits planning to make sure that you get connected to all the right resources that you need. So any questions? Yes. Yes.
What is the upper age limit that you guys have?
We don't have an upper age limit.
With
No,
the
we do not.
disability, yeah.
By the way, men's bathroom there, women's bathroom there. Forgot to start with that. But no,
Very
we
good.
don't have an upper limit. It's whoever we can help.
Yep.
We just want to help.
And if they have a disability, they have a right. I will tell you the only age limit we would have is with Social Security, because that's 64. Once it's 64, then it's retirement, but we can still help with that transition from disability onto retirement. So that would probably be your only thing that would have an age limit. Yeah. Yep.
Can you clarify, I think I missed at the beginning, is part of Skills Academy or a partnership?
It's a partnership.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
So how do we get the information? Because there's no contact information.
I know. I'm so sorry. You know what?
You call Randee.
Yep. And she'll. Yep.
That's me. I'll hand out my cards later.
And then she'll get you in touch with me.
So we work with a lot of different agencies, and when we can't find an agency to do the job, we form one ourselves. So Chantel and I formed an agency to help with employment.
I think it's awesome.
Oh,
So
thanks.
my follow-up question is it only for people with disabilities, or like if I'm transitioning and I don't have a disability, can I come?
We'll talk about that.
Okay. And then,
That's
so
my section. But yes, she can help you with
this might be a
benefits.
part of your section too.
Yeah.
For your son who, when you adopted, you thought he had disabilities and then ended up not, are kids like that, young adults like that, because I have a son in the same position.
Yep.
When we adopted, when he was 10, we were told, worst case in the history of El Paso County.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to adopt him.
Heard
And
that one.
He did, but he doesn't have disabilities, but he does have challenges because of the trauma in his past.
Oh, yeah.
Is he eligible, even though technically
Yes.
he doesn't have the diagnosis?
Yeah, there's different programs. We have different programs, and I get that a lot. Well, let me finish with her, and then I'll get going on my
So
soapbox.
I will answer that portion, and it probably is a question in a lot of your guys' head. So for some of the programs, keep in mind if it's a federal program, so example, Social Security, to receive SSI or SSDI, there has to be a disability diagnosis to receive federal benefits. State benefits, because it's a needs-based, typically is based on income. So if you're low income and you need food stamps or Medicaid, we can still assist you with that. So Social Security is probably the only, I lied. Social Security and waiver funding. So that would be case management. You'd have to have a disability diagnosis to receive those services. But all the other ones we can help you with. And then her piece is a little bit different. So, yeah. Good question though. Any other questions? Yeah.
Do learning disabilities and or ADHD count within that disability group?
It sure does. It sure does. Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about how to get that diagnosed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, I'm sure I'll have to pull you aside to talk to you about
That's okay.
this, but,
That's why I got my cards up here. You can call me afterwards if you want to talk privately.
Okay, yeah.
No problem. Some people don't want to talk. I'll get a lot of calls after. Guys, I do this because I was you on that side. So they're going, how do I get help for my kids? Okay, I was the mom. We moved every 2 years with the military, had to start all over. New psychologists, psychiatrists, neuropsychologists, speech therapists, this, that. Every place we moved, every 2 years. We had 12 moves in 24 years with our with 4 special needs kids. It was ridiculous. So I was on your side, going, somebody please help me. And when I didn't, I finally got pissed and said, okay, fine, no one's going to help me. I'm going to help everybody else. So that's how this started.
So one of the things that, and Randee will talk about, there's an assessment, a psychologist assessment that you'll have to go through, and that allows them to get the diagnosis. So yes, and if there is any question on that diagnosis, if for federal funding, like through Social Security, if there's a justification for a disability, we can also go at it from that perspective. And typically, if there's any medical doctor that can justify it, you should be able to get those funding.
They already have those diagnoses through like brain body integration and those things.
It's easy.
Work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easy.
Yep.
Go
Yep.
ahead, ma'am.
So I've worked really hard to not diagnose my daughter for anything,
Mhm.
simply because of long-term ramifications of
Mhm.
how she'll be discriminated against.
Stigma.
Or something like
Mhm.
that. So can you tell me a little bit about that? Because she's definitely, she's just traumatized. She's traumatized, she's over-anxious, overstressed. I've never seen a kid get so worked up about the silliest, dumbest thing. She's capable of stuff, but she has some other stuff running in the background.
She can't get out of her own head.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Some of,
That's autism.
and I see that and hear that all the time. Like, people who have severe disability. I don't have a disability. I don't have a disability. Just because they think if I have a disability that I'm classified as different, right?
So long term, like how is that going to affect, a job later on, or just discrimination? So I've worked really hard to not get her tested every time people ask me to test her, and so I'm just kind of wondering.
Why to do it?
Yeah,
Because it
and can you get
protects
out of
her.
it once you do it?
Yeah, you just don't tell people. But here's the big deal. By not having that diagnosis, she doesn't get the same educational benefits. She won't get the same housing or job or school benefits. She loses all of those benefits by not diagnosing. We work with parents all the time. My kid's high functioning. I didn't want to diagnose my kid until I wanted to drown him one day, and then it's like, okay, we're going to get you checked.
So
But
I'm wondering though, but if I diagnose her, then is that going to give her an excuse to not?
no, but it might help her
I
get
was
to.
gonna say it creates a lot of empathy with other people too, because they'll be like, "Why is this person so weird?" And then you're like,
It's like,
obviously they're on the spectrum, and they're like, "Oh, I get it. I know somebody with that," and they're so much more empathetic.
Oh yeah.
And you are more sensitive to meeting their needs than you were before when you expected them to fall in line.
Yeah, why can't they be normal?
Yeah.
100 times people say, why can't my kid be normal? Hold on one second, we had her first and then you. Yes.
Oh, no, I just wanted to piggyback off what you were saying. So I don't have mental or emotional disability, but I have a physical disability that I've lived with for 23 years. And the importance of any diagnosis or just for the sake of accommodation. Because if she needs extra time for testing and they don't give it to her, they are breaking the law. I think that point needs to stick out. So whatever accommodation is needed, if she needs extra time, if she needs to be in a room alone, if she needs somebody to read the questions to her, for her to be able to take the test successfully or whatever have you, those things protect her in the learning environment. But if people go against that and it's documented, if it's a job like HR, if it's with school, with the school counselors and the disability office, there are consequences and repercussions for screwing somebody over with a documented accommodation in a disability. They are breaking the law.
Yeah, let me comment on that real quick. It's called disclosure, right? And we work with people with disabilities on how to correctly disclose your disability to an employer, to a school district, to any state agency, any federal agency, because she's 110%. It's all about protections.
So I guess as a child, I had all kinds of issues, and I didn't even get tested for learning disabilities until I was halfway through college. And then they're like, well, you're going to have extra time. I was like, well, fridge, I've already figured this stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of us,
So you'd want that for your child, right? Is, if they want to go to
want them to go
school,
through it.
you don't want them to suffer. And I think also one of the things parents, try and do is protect their child from natural consequences, right? Or just natural opportunities. So you want to engage them in different groups, people with disabilities, so they can see, you know what, I may have a disability, but I'm not different. I'm still a human being. I still have needs. I still want to be loved. I still want to exceed. I still want to be independent, just like everybody else. It's just really about making sure that they're protected.
we have a question here
Yeah.
and the lady behind her.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my son is borderline intellectually disabled
Mhm.
with an IQ of 76.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, right
So
over the
he falls in
line.
this really gray area.
Yep.
Because TRE won't touch him unless I get this documentation, and I can't find anybody to help me walk through this process.
That's
Yep.
us.
Yeah.
This is you guys?
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the things that TRE or case management agencies won't do is they're going to do your IQ test first, right? And if you're over 70, that's the limit cutoff, then they're not going to do a functional assessment. Well, I will tell you what, a child with autism may be brilliant, right?
My kid.
It used to be Asperger's on the spectrum, right? But can't figure out how to get himself out of a paper bag, or how to get out of bed, or how to take a shower, or how to use the microwave, or use soap, or if the doorbell rings, is it safe for me to answer the door? Safety, right? That's the functional portion of it that they won't do if you're above 70. So it's advocating to make sure that they come out to the home and do a functional assessment, because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to pass the functional assessment, then should qualify.
That's what I need, but I don't know how to do it.
Okay,
That's
we'll
us.
we'll help you.
Averages out, once they do both of them, then it would change.
No,
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 functional
no.
assessment does not average out. My kid's a 135 IQ. They wouldn't even look at him. I got the functional assessment, and then I was able to get him all his benefits.
Yeah. So
Functional assessment, they have to go with it. TRE may not turn you down. Yes, ma'am.
So you help navigate through TRE?
Yes.
yes, yes, yeah,
Yeah, we'll talk.
yeah. Go ahead.
Mama 4 special need, or 3 that are with TRE. Yeah, it's not fun. Go ahead.
So it's been the school district. I've had to be my biggest advocate for my child to even
Yep.
have her tested.
Mm-hmm.
And they're telling me that she has learning disabilities, but she has memory retention issues. And she's slowly starting to progress, and get a little better. So they're starting to take stuff away
Services
from her,
away.
like
We'll
summer
talk.
school
They
and
can't do
stuff.
that.
What they're doing that, and also I'm not getting more of an answer or diagnosis on why is she having these retentive issues, and it's a gray area.
No,
So
and they
now
won't test for it.
the school district is really giving me pushback, and I just had an IEP meeting and everything, and they're like, no, you're not, you could pay out of pocket for her to, go through reading and da-da-da-da.
No.
And putting it all on me, and I'm like, you guys are supposed to be helping me. I'm doing my part as a parent and stepping up, and I'm homeschooling my child after school too. I mean, you guys are not giving me specifics on A, how to help my child.
No,
B,
they don't.
you're telling me she has a delay in a learning disability, but you're not telling me specifics, and why a long-term memory retention is a problem. There's no diagnosis for me to even go based on. And then recently they're like, well, you need to get her tested for ADHD, ADD, and I'm like, why is this just now coming up and not, I asked about that sooner and earlier, because that could have a big part in how she's learning. I'm just getting, the school district has been the biggest battle for me as a parent.
Oh, yeah. It's
And
amazing,
they
isn't
make
it?
me feel horrible about myself,
Yep.
and I'm not a good enough parent. The list goes on, but
Yep.
they shove people and parents with disabilities, and they only offer so much.
And they
then
try and
the little
take back
bit you
what they
get,
could.
They try and yank away.
Yep.
Just as they start to get a little bit better with what they're doing academically.
How old is your daughter?
8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's not old enough for
They
transition.
can handle it.
Yeah,
We'll send her to doc. That's an easy one.
yeah. Good questions. Any other questions?
We'll talk a lot about this, guys. We'll let her go.
Yeah, no. Yeah, any other questions about benefits and how we can get you
Benefits,
connected
we'll
to
talk about
services?
everything else.
Yeah, go ahead.
When it comes to getting the diagnosis to help get benefits, are there any times that you would not recommend getting a diagnosis? Like, for example, a young person who wants to go into the military, so they're going to be very thoroughly background.
That's one of those cases where the parents keep that and we don't turn it in.
But the military is so thorough in their
No,
background
nope,
checking.
nope. All right.
Genesis, 'cause I am a recruiter.
Yeah,
And so everything is Genesis now.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest
Can't
issues.
hide it anymore.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
But
can't.
there is, my son, my oldest, who's severely abused, he's got ADHD around the abuse. A lot of it. And he's off the chart ADHD. And we had him tested and it showed ADHD. And back in the 90s, he said, I'll never be able to go in. And after 2002, he went in Marines, he served 2 tours in Iraq, fought in Fallujah and Ramadi, did all of that. So a lot of that has changed. There's some diagnoses they'll take now, like ADHD is not a big deal anymore. Where back then, it's like, ugh, no, you took Ritalin as a kid, forget it, you're out the window, hadn't taken it for 5 years. So there's a lot you can do. There's a lot the military will consider, especially, okay, I am the world's most ADHD person you have ever met, okay? There is nobody more ADHD than me. I quit napping at 10 months. By a year, my parents had to start nailing windows shut because I'd claw out windows in the middle of the night as a window. I'm an awful, horrible kid. Teachers had the party the day after I left a class. Like to challenge the teachers, like to challenge everybody. I was just so obnoxious, but girls back then couldn't have ADHD. No way, you couldn't have it. Oh, here, I'm sorry, I gotta let her go.
No.
Please, let her go, and we'll talk.
Yeah, get in touch with
Sorry.
me. I'll be here to help.
We'll be talking a lot.
I was just gonna ask, I don't wanna interrupt your
No
story,
problem.
but before you leave, is there any tools or language that you would suggest when trying to advocate, that really makes you have like a strong stance besides, you'll have to burn this place down about
Yes, here's my lawyer's number. That's the best one.
One of the things really is understanding the ADA, right? And there's a lot in the ADA, but there's a lot of provisions. It's there to protect people with disabilities. So if you have just a really solid, you don't need to know it all because there is so much and it's so overwhelming. But if you just have a good solid background of the ADA and those protections, you can always fall back on that, right? Whether it's an employer, and you can say, well, according to the ADA, I will tell you what, they will shut up so fast and be like, yes, ma'am.
Those words have power, according to the ADA.
They really do, because people think, oh, they have a disability, and they don't know anything, right? No, I have a disability, and I have a master's degree, I know a lot, and I've advocated, I've been to Washington and advocate for people with disabilities. And when you can start speaking the language a little bit and having a good understanding and being confident and knowing your rights, you're going to be able to move a lot of mountains that way. Yeah. All right, thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much, honey, for staying late. All right, real quick. I'm sorry, I was starting on my ADHD. Get it? There you go. And again, what you were just bringing up. Instead of your kid being think, oh, that's the weird kid, it's better to have the diagnosis and know this is what's going on and this is what's going to help. Back in the 70s, girls couldn't have ADHD. And especially smart girls. Of course we didn't have ADHD, we're smart. We're supposed to be perfect, man. Right? So no diagnosis, no testing, no anything for a girl like me who had to get up and pace in the classrooms. It's like, there's something wrong with her. No, I'm a 4.0 student. By 16, I graduated high school as a college sophomore, and went to work at JPL NASA in engineering. So no, there was nothing wrong with me. I'm just extremely ADHD, and nobody would diagnose it. Because back then, it's not a girl disease. It's not a thing girls have. And same thing like her. Got my PhD. Took me forever to get it because I couldn't sit still, but I have it and successful. I was in finance and I was a rocket scientist for 20 years at JPL NASA. And, so the limitations are just what we put. Is Brian ever going to be a rocket scientist? No, but he's happy. He has a job. He has a wife. They're the Barbie and Ken of special ed. And yeah, great life. So not putting the limitations. And that's what we do here. So let's get back into a little bit of what we do, okay? Like I said, I'm pissed off mom who couldn't get help for my kid, couldn't get help from me, had everybody just sign me off. We were part of the lawsuit that got EFMP started. We were part of that lawsuit way back in the 90s that sued because I adopted special needs kids and they tried to send us to Aviano, Italy with no help, no nothing, and told my husband if he didn't take the assignment, they were going to kick him out of the military And, he had just won Captain of the Year for the whole Air Force Advocate Award, which was never given to a company grade officer before, and he won it. Yet they then 4 months later said, we're kicking you out because you have a special needs kid and you refuse to take an assignment where you can't get help for your kid. So that's when I started fighting back and fighting for my kids and fighting for other families and being here and trying to change what we do. So what do we do? Let me give you a little background on what we do here. And then let's talk about what we can do to help with your guys' families and stuff going on. We're a training center because I believe everybody should have the dignity of a paycheck. Everybody. And I don't care if you're ADHD, I don't care if you're lower functioning Down syndrome, I don't care if you're cerebral palsy or like Chantel. Chantel was a cross-country runner who got a spinal infection and leaves you disabled. I don't care what your disability is, everybody should have the pride of a paycheck. Everybody. Don't tell me somebody can't do something because they're in a wheelchair. Don't tell me they can't do something because they have cerebral palsy and use a walker and a shaky arm. Let me figure out some way to get them a job. Let me figure out some way to get them that dignity. I partnered up with Chantel because Social Security likes to tell parents, oh, if your kid gets a job, they lose all their benefits and they're out on the street, blah, 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 blah. Bull. So that's why we partnered up with Chantel and brought her on to our team here to work with us on that. Because right now, Social Security for a disabled adult is $960 a month. Can you guys live on that? How come our government gets to tell us that, oh, you have a disability, you live on $960 a month, which isn't even poverty rate, it's half poverty rate. I mean, it's so far below poverty rate, you have to double that just to hit poverty rate. But that's okay because you have a disability, you live on $960 a month. Oh, and by the way, if you have to live somewhere, we're gonna take $700 off the top to pay your room and board. So you pay all the rest of your bills, your food, and everything else at $260 a month. Come on, that's fair. You're disabled, so that's good enough for you. Well, our government's been doing that for all these years, and that pissed me off too. Again, pissed off moms changes the world. So I found ways to help fight back. Number one, testing. Have any of you ever tried to get your kid testing? Do you know how long the wait is right now? 18 months. It is an 18-month wait, and if you can, if your insurance doesn't cover it, you better be ready to pay $4,000 out of pocket. Okay, that is ridiculous. So a kid has a problem. A kid has some kind of disability, we don't know what it is, or they have some kind of learning disability, or they have some kind of ADHD, but we can't get you help for 18 months, even though that's your best developmental years, because guess what? There's nobody available. That pissed me off. So I went and decided, well, I've got to fix that. That just makes me mad. Why are we doing this? I had so many families who wanted their kids to start here for vocational training that they couldn't get in here because they didn't have their testing, so TRE wouldn't work with them. And then their kid was over 70, this stupid threshold, so we can't work with them anyways. You know, my kid, if there was a fire, he would sit in his room and burn to death rather than talk to a stranger. Again, high functioning, super geek, plays his little Dungeons and Dragons with his friends, but he has such bad social anxiety disorder, he'll burn to death before he gets help. That's a functional assessment showed that. But the school district wouldn't do it. Refused to give my kid a functional assessment. TRE refused to give him benefits because he didn't have a functional assessment. Went to the military, TRICARE, can you guys do a functional, we don't do it. And finally found somebody who would do it, and yeah, we'll put him down 2 years. How is that helping my kid? So I got mad on that, and I went to Indeed and I put out an ad. Psychologist wanted, clinical psychologist wanted, and one that has no problem supervising graduate students. Let's think. Maybe we could get graduate students. So they need a psychologist to supervise them. They need to do hours. We need tests. They need hours. Yay! So we found a Dr. Eric Weinstein. He is our psychologist. We have up front here, I keep pointing to that skills behavioral and testing center. All we do is testing there. We have a whole clinic now that does nothing but testing. They do 5 tests a day. We do tests all over the country. We do them here, we do them virtual. We work with TRICARE, working with military families who, this is one that happened to us in 3 different bases. Okay, your kid's on the wait list. Well, how long's the wait list? Oh, 18 months to 2 years. Well, I move every 2 years. How does that help? Yeah, we got moved 3 times before we ever got seen by the doctors we needed. That happened a couple of bases we got stationed in. So, testing. We brought testing in. So we can test within 2 to 4 weeks. We can get somebody tested. How do we do that? Graduate students, graduate PhD students. They need hours. We need testing. And TRICARE, as long as they're supervising all the insurance, including Medicare, Medicaid, all of them, as long as there is a supervising doctor, you can do it. I found that loophole, got it approved.
Can you do testing for anybody?
Anybody. We even test for dementia. We test traumatic brain injury. So it sounds really stupid. So background again, engineering and finance. I got so pissed. We moved twice before my kids got to see their developmental psychologist at 2 of the bases we're at. I went and got my own PhD in neuropsych just because I couldn't get my kid help. I told you ADHD, okay? I'm not super smart, I'm super hyper, okay? I'm not that smart, I'm just hyper, okay? But I just wanted treatment for my kids. So as you see, I fidget up here. That's my ADHD. But so we set up testing, and we got impaneled with everybody now. I think it's July 1st. We get to take TRICARE as the last one to go impanel because they're such pains. And but testing is step 1. Step 2, once we have test and we know what we're dealing with, is it a quirky thing? Is it a behavioral thing? Is it a neurological? Is it a developmental? Then we go and we really take action. If it's behavioral, we have behavioral here. When somebody comes here, back. So who do we work with? We have a BOCES school now, where we work 15 and above for high school. And it's vocational high school. We work with the BOCES, ER BOCES. We're in an ER BOCES school. We have about 15 kids this year that have gone through. The next year we'll have about 30. And they do their regular high school stuff, but then they get to specialize in a vocational specialty, where at the end they graduate high school and they get their vocational certifications in their area. So we work with them. We work with DD students. And soon these walls will be, I'll give you the tour, all on that side will be DD, all on this side will be the new group we have going on here. So we work with transition students. Those are the 18 to 21 who have a diagnosis, and the school didn't talk the parents out of giving up their rights and actually got their kids their 18 to 21 transition program. So the school district is responsible to pay for your kids those last 3 years, 18 to 21. Any education, don't let them give your kid a diploma. They actually went to my kid, it was right at the COVID closing, went to my son who had just turned 18 2 days before, right before the COVID closing, 5 days before, and said, Jared, do you want to go 3 more years of high school? He said, hell no, I'm out of here, man. They said, good, sign on this. I didn't have guardianship yet. They got my kid to sign away his rights. We were in the middle of suing when the COVID closed down hit. And after that, like I said, I opened the school because just, how they could do that. And I didn't know any of this stuff till that was it, man. That was my final straw. So we work with the transition kids. We have 2 very different programs. We have a vocational program that is for our higher functioning people that might have ADHD. They might have autism, there might be trauma, there might be some reason why they are not able to go to regular college. Okay? We have a vocational program. We have our computer technology program. awesome, awesome, awesome program. We'll show you certifications in a minute. I can take somebody from zero who's never turned on a computer before to their Microsoft 365 or their Google cybersecurity within 4 to 6 months, and then get them a job starting at 25 to 30 bucks an hour. I can do that with special needs adults. My kid is about to graduate, and my kid had never turned on a computer, my 30-year-old, Kevin. And everyone's, oh, he can't learn computer, he can't learn computer. My kid's building spreadsheets and doing some of my stuff. He's awesome. He's got his PowerPoint badge, man. He's just amazing. There's so much we can do if we quit limiting. So we have the computer technology program. We have the culinary arts program, and that one I brag about so much because that one, a lot of our kids can work with the culinary arts program. I have a student, ex-student now. She's graduated. She's working for $27.50 an hour, a union job, working at King Super, decorating cakes all day long. She has cerebral palsy. She cannot grasp. How is she decorating cakes? She said she always wanted to learn how to decorate cakes. Came to us, what do? I really want to decorate cakes. I'm really artistic. I really want to do this. So I searched all over. What can we do with somebody with limited hand strength to decorate cakes and work in a bakery? We found in Italy, the old nonas, the old grandmas, they'd get arthritis and they couldn't squeeze and grasp. So they had specialty rolling pins where it uses your forearm, and I found specialty cake decorating bags where they just use their thumb. There's no pressure squeeze. It squeezes automatically using a thumb. And she's been working there for a year now. That's the job. I look at everything. What job can I get you? What job can you do? So our culinary program, we have 78 partner restaurants here in town that take our students. Some of our students aren't ready when they graduate with a culinary degree. And trust me, they graduate with a culinary degree from the National Restaurant Association. Just like our computer guys graduate with their Microsoft or their Google Cyber. These guys graduate with their National Restaurant Association culinary arts line cook degree or baker degree. What do we do with them? We place them in restaurants. We place them at, if any of you guys been to St. Gabe's, they're in the kitchen. We are about to open our cafe downstairs. We have students about to work there. We bought a food truck as a transition site for our guys that just aren't quite ready to go into a restaurant yet, because restaurants are rough, guys. I did that in college. No. So we bought a hot dog truck. We're that hot dog truck that's in front of Home Depot on Woodman and Academy. We have students working there all week long. We have a chef in there training them, and they're working, and they're earning paychecks, and not minimum wage paychecks, good paychecks. They're doing jobs. And our last program is our newest program, and that's manufacturing. There is a great need in manufacturing. It's 65% manned right now. They need manufacturing jobs. People who are trained in manufacturing. Not the entry-level stuff, the people who are trained. How to work a machine, how to work a 3D printer, how to clean machines, how to work different types of machines, like a CNC machine, and how to work calipers and stuff like that. And I kept having these students that said, hey, we want to get into that. Can we do this? What do we do? I reached out. We reached out to the National Manufacturing Association and Home Builders Institute, took their coursework, used something called Universal Design to adapt it for our kids, to work with kids that might have ADHD. It's a different checklist. Might have autism. That's a different type of checklist. Might have a physical disability. That's a different adaptation. And we developed it, and we just got it approved on a national level by Department of Labor, so now we are can give the full certification in manufacturing and construction. These are all jobs any of our kids can do. They just need help getting there. So we have a couple of programs here. So we have, like I said, our DD program, our high school, and our transitions program. And then we have our program that's just vocational for people, we call them failure to launch. Okay, they're 20s, early 20s, they're in the late 20s, and they are still at home. They're still working the come and go job. They're still not getting there into adulthood. They can get to come to our program through the Workforce Center, pays for them to attend our program. Again, we adapt. We find out what programs they need, what we might have to adapt for them. We got to find out what behaviors are causing them not to launch and become adults. We do training in financial literacy. We do training in adulting 101. I mean, come on, I sat there last night. I sent my kid to the shower, and I swear 20 minutes later, sat down at the dinner table, wet hair, and stunk. It's like, what the hell? Do you know what a soap bar is? Oh my gosh, it's like, how could somebody stink so bad out of the shower when they just got out of it? It's like, made no sense to me. So, checklist. I didn't even think, because he's so smart, that I needed to write the same checklist for him that I did his brothers who have mental disabilities from abuse. Didn't even think of doing that with him. After last night, I did. It's like, God, that is the worst odor in the world. BO on a 20-year-old? Oh, that is terrible, terrible odor. So we have that program where our higher functioning adults with issues, and then our people who just haven't been able to get a grasp of what's going on and what they need to move forward. Then we have our brand new program that just came to us, and it's just one of those where God puts you where you need to be. Unfortunately, when you go to a juvenile detention center, Springs Creek right here, they have an 83% disability level there. 83% of those kids in there have either a learning disability, some form of autism or ADHD, or oppositional defiant behavioral issues. Okay, that's why they're in there. Most of them, 90, I think I just got the report from them on this, 91% have never been tested. Never been tested. We all talk about how do we stop homelessness? How do we stop reduce prison population? How do we stop crime? Well, is that kid going to break into your car tonight? Not if he's here working or has a job or he's in job training. Is he going to break into your house this week? Not if he's here doing something, training, getting his life together, working with our behavioral team, working with our trauma team, working with our teachers on what's going on, working with our SPED teacher on is there undiagnosed ADHD, is there undiagnosed our dropouts. 80% of dropouts are boys aged 16 to 17 with dyslexia because it's not diagnosed. Okay, they barely make it through. Yes, ma'am.
So I understand that you have diagnosing and then helping
Treatment.
But I wonder, does that treatment also extend to, like, do you have like a dietitian on staff, like to kind of like, you know, like certain dyes effects or like trigger certain like autistic things or whatnot? Because I've been learning a lot about that, and I'm like, wow, you know, kind of like what you were talking about earlier, like these doctors and these professionals like tell you, oh, this can't be, or this isn't it, or this, like, we know our kids better than
anybody. Thank you.
Right? And
Yep.
like, so there's so many different forms than giving you this high dose of medication. There's so many other things you can do, like eliminate the dyes or eat fatty acids, like omegas that I've found really, really help. So I wonder if you have that kind of support and education and testing and whatnot.
We do a lot of, we don't do the nutritional testing here, but we do a lot of the training for our students because in the special needs community by age 40, I think it's 70, I've got it in my office, 79% of special needs adults by age 40 have type 2 diabetes. Okay, and that's a diet-linked disease. So that is a big issue. So we deal with that here with our adulting training. Nutrition's a big part of that. Because one of the big things in adulting training is how do you budget? Okay, our kids don't learn that in school. They don't teach it. They don't teach our adult kids who don't have problems that anymore. You know, it's not testing. You can't do it for testing, so forget it. You know, So it's one of the skills that they just don't teach. How do you know, okay, this is only, this is 99 cents and this is $1.29, but this is 6.8 cents an ounce and this one's only 4.8 cents an ounce. Which is the better buy? This one. You know, simple things like that they don't teach anymore. So we're teaching it here. So that's part of our Joy of Cooking program, yeah.
Just so I understand, so are these classes really for people who are in 18-21 range, and then you just have people below that age to get services in the community? Or
Yeah.
can kids come here while still in high school and actually take classes in place of their high school?
They're here for our BOCES High School. Instead of going to high school, we just gave it a try this year, and it went so well.
So they're here all day?
Yeah.
Kind of like a regular high school?
Like a regular high school. They're here from 9 to 2, and they're in the morning, they're having their academics, but with a one-on-one, in a class, small, 5 to 1 teacher and an aide, and then in the afternoon, they're doing vocational.
So who pays for all of this? Is this like all grant money you're getting?
I'm a crazy woman. No, so back to, there's so much that people don't tell you, ways you can get this covered. And I look for ways to cover it. And I find all these different ways. I'll tell you in a second. But real quick, that last group I was talking about here, and I'll touch on that, is the justice involved. So at night now, and we will have justice involved youth here. And we will be teaching 3 months in before they get released, and then 3 months when they come out. And we're doing some of these kids the first diagnosis ever. I'm sorry, my oldest one, he had his trouble in his youth, man. We paid a lot of money to keep him from not having a record so he could go in the military one day. We went through hell in a handbasket with that kid. You know, in and out of foster care, they ate him up. So we had to do a lot to straighten that kid out. And, you know, for somebody like him that got justice involved young, you know, they throw him away now. It's sad. And most of them grow up in foster care, so they don't have a family like us fighting. So that's why we do it. So we'll have the justice involved here. So again, we have the high functioning vocational, justice involved who are here at night, and our special needs programs. Funding. You all pay for it, right? Come on, we're all rich, aren't we? We used to joke. I was a software engineer at JPL NASA, and my husband was a second lieutenant, and we met out at Edwards. His planes were flying chase on my project. I used to develop radar jamming devices for weapons. That's what I did, weapon systems. I got to go up in very fast planes and jam their radar and be, all kinds of fun stuff like that. It was really cool stuff. And we used to joke that we were rich, we were traveling the world, and we had all this time to ourselves, so we decided let's be poor and have no time to ourselves and adopt special needs kids. And that's what we did. And wound up, every penny goes out, because you have a special needs kid, aren't you automatically rich? Isn't there tons of money to pay for programs like this to get the best for your kids because the school districts do so much for you? Hell no. So I'm a problem solver. Again, I don't like to see families suffer because I went through it and I hated it. So I figured that by putting together DVRF funding, especially on the pre-ETS, putting together the BOCES High School for our under 18, putting together for our justice involved through Department of Labor, and doing Department of Labor for all our vocational programs with Department of with the Workforce Center. By putting it all together, we got funding to cover people. And to build this place, I raised the money. I went out and I raised the money, and in fact, we were just talking about it. I just got a $850,000 check from Daniel's fund, $840,000, sorry. Get my zeros right, to pay for our kitchens that I'm going to show you guys in a minute. So, what's your next step? Your next step is we got to figure out what your kid needs or what you need. Some of you are going, wait, that sounds like me. Again, ADHD, I do so much because I don't sleep. I still only sleep 4 or 5 hours a night. I've got to do something all night. It's like, look, a new business. Why not? It's a big joke in our family. A couple of years ago, 2 years ago, I died, so I'm not allowed caffeine anymore. And I was a self-medicating ADHD. I drank 2 super big gulps and cans in between while I was waiting to go to get my big gulps. And then I had a intestinal eruption. I'm not allowed caffeine. And so being a self-medicating ADHD my whole life, it was the only thing that would calm me down enough where I didn't do 100 things at once. Now my poor family is like, God, go away. Aren't you staying at work? It's early. Why are you home? It's only 9. Go. Oh, come on, let's do this project. Let's do that project. Yeah, no, and they don't take me on vacation with them anymore. They all want to laze around and, a bunch of boys. Let's sit by the pool. I'm like, oh, let's go here. Let's go there. Let's go there. Yeah, drive them crazy. So I raised the money. I actually raised the money to pay for all of this and to put this all together. I donate the space to different charities. In fact, tonight we had over in there, we had Voices of Grief going, you guys going here, and downstairs we have Sue's Gift going, which is a fundraiser for ovarian cancer. They have their big gala tomorrow night, and all these places wanted to charge them $5,000 to have their gala. Well, that's money that could be helping somebody. So we just give our space. Every Saturday morning, 2 Saturdays a month, we have the Disabled Veterans of America here. One Saturday we have the Boy Scouts, and then the Saturday after that we have the Vietnam veterans. We're a military family. Oh, you're welcome. We're all military in our family, so my son's right now in Fort Bragg. Oh, sorry, whatever the new name is. Yeah. And just got back from 9 months in the Middle East, so he's in Army intelligence. So, you just go. You go and you do whatever it takes to help other groups. So, think about what you need, what family members need, and then you're going to give me a call. You got my card up here. I'm going to give you guys a tour of this place. What I'm missing is, and it's sitting on my desk, so as I give you the tour, we'll stop and pick it up, the psychology entry thing. And again, insurance covers that, especially if you have Medicaid, Humana, Cigna, soon TRICARE on July 1st. Whatever we could.
July 1st, the call.
Yes. No, you want to book before. We have a graduates class just about to start. And if you guys come up with ideas, give me the ideas. I'm here for the ideas. And by the way, the chips. Let me explain the chips real quick. They're not the prettiest bagging, okay? But the kids who did this, we partnered with Rockalita Chips up in Denver. They make the chips. And this is a job where our guys come in, students who might not ever be able to hold an independent job can have a job. They bag the chips, they label the chips, they seal the chips. That's why it's not the best sealing jobs, but they try. And then we sell the chips at different events. And the money goes back to them for paychecks. So they get to earn money. And instead of a pity job, I hate pity jobs. People can do more than pity jobs. They're earning a paycheck. And they're doing it themselves. Take chips home. These are the ones that didn't quite pass inspection for going out to the public. And you'll notice I have quite a few of these. So I give these out quite a lot, but they're jobs. Again, think of it. I'm this weird person. I'll walk through the mall and go, oh, that's a job. Oh, that's a job. It drives my family crazy. I'm constantly writing down, oh, look, we can adapt that. We could do this, and look, we can put at least 3 people to work there. I just bought a hot dog truck. One of our families here, she was retiring. She got a big military pension and everything. She's going off, just retiring. And she was gonna sell her hot dog truck for $60,000. She gave it to us for $20,000. And it's a job. I now have 3 different kids working there. I always say kids, and I'm sorry, they're adults, but my kids are here, so they're kids. And most of the kids that started with us were kids we coached in Special Olympics, so they're my kids. And that's why you see the Sharks everywhere. That's our Special Olympics team. But, so we have people working in a hot dog truck. and it's great jobs, and they're getting, we don't pay that sub minimum wage crap. We pay the minimum wage plus tips, and they're making like 22, 25 bucks an hour on a weekend selling hot dogs. That's jobs. The pride is so amazing. It's jobs. Come on, let me show you guys around real quick, and then I'll let you go home. Please. We'll come back so you guys can grab those. Come on, come tour, and then we'll come back and you can grab as many as you want. Okay, I'll be really loud now. This used to be a server farm. This was 400 cubicles. When they gave me the tour of this place, because I was looking for to expand the school, they go, well, this is a cubicle farm. I said, ooh, can I have the furniture? I said, yeah, you want the furniture? Yeah, I've got like 600 chairs in the basement right now, and we give them out. Like District 11 had not bought new office chairs in 20 years. We were able to give them 200 chairs. It's giving back. Somebody's blessed us. Damn it, we're going to bless people back. So that's what we tried to do here. So we added 10 rooms for vocational training and made this a really great program, for people to come. We have, we'll show you. Come look down here. Down here are classrooms. And they're not, when you go to day programs, okay, they're going to give your kid coloring books, like I said, seriously, for special needs adults. And you think transition programs are any better? Hell no. I toured them for my kid. I would never let my kid in those kind of transition programs. We have music, we have band, we have choir, we have intro to computers, we have independent living, we have art, we have joy of cooking. Those are classes our guys need, not coloring 101. Not walk around the mall. It's real training, really training our people. Because I don't know about you, I have a kid who is so tone deaf, and her big goal in life is to be a country singer. So I started a choir. She sings. She loves it. She's awful, but I love her dearly. She's great. We adopted Sarah when she married my son Brian. Had grown up in foster care, special needs adult, adopted her, and Brian and her have been married 19 years, so it's worked. So, but again, why limit what our kids can do? Stop with the limits is our big thing here. All right, let's move back out here, because I got to show you guys our big pride and joy right now. It's so cool. Come on down this way. I'm going to take you in this first class, in front of this first classroom over here. All these certifications in computers were all earned by special needs adults. Every single one of these. Every kid on here was told they're the weird kid, they're this or that, or they have ADHD or autism or this or that. And we're just written off. Do you know what they're doing now? This is such a great program we started here. And Christine Davidson is our head teacher here. She also teaches at Pikes Peak State College. What we did is we needed to get these guys some hands-on training and build their resumes. So we put together this network where all these different nonprofits can come to us and we build their website. Our students do. Our students design their logos. Our students set up their social media. Our students send out their weekly updates. We have students that handle fundraising. We just starting a program, the room just got set up, where nonprofits can drop off their computers that might need to be fixed, or our kids will come out with a training partner and go to their school, go to their location and help them with computers or printers or whatever. Who pays for that? Workforce Center. As long as they finish the first 3 months of vocational, then we can get them on the job training pay, and they get paid to do this. They get paid anywhere between 18 and 20 bucks an hour to set up all the work for other charities, setting up their computer systems and setting up their social media. What charities? Autism Society of Colorado is one of our clients. One Nation Walking works with Native American children with failing schools. We work with over 20 charities. The Juvenile Diabetes Society, all kinds of charities we work with especially charities with women with abuse and stuff like that, where they've never even thought that they could have somebody help them with their social media, help them with their website, help them set this stuff up, because they're too small or they don't have the budget. Well, now I have kids that are volunteering and doing it all. So our guys get resumes. Our guys get these amazing resumes, and what do they get? They get help that they never thought they could get before. It's such a cool program. And it's all adults that were written off. Oh, you got too bad of ADHD. Oh, you're Asperger's. Forget it. We don't want to deal with you. Some of them have tried jobs and they just didn't quite fit. So we came up with this program, but we came up with one more program. So come on down here. I told you I have too much time on my hand. It's just crazy when you're hyperactive. We have so many people who just don't fit into the workforce. They might, with their social anxiety disorder, their inability to talk to their coworkers, they might have quirks, or maybe, I've got one girl, she has bladder issues from a health issue. And she's too scared to go to work because she pees herself. But she's smart, but she pees herself. So no one give her a chance, and she's too scared to even take a chance. So we started putting together what we started there with the nonprofits, and we put together through our, so we have Skills Academy Vocational Center, which is the name of the training center, and we have our nonprofit, Skills Foundation, and we put together, and Skills Enrichment Center is our nonprofit, where we've got all these different businesses like Microsoft now funding a work site where our guys can work online for different businesses, setting up, especially, oh my gosh, you'd be surprised, just setting up Excel reports and stuff. I've got where they call in and they give us assignment on PowerPoints. Our guys set it up. They earn a great living. It gives them a more protected place to be, and they're working. Instead of going to an office job 9 to 5, which they can't handle, they sure can handle working here. They have people, like-minded people. They have a boss who's trained in this field and trained to work with our guys, and she's actually has high-functioning autism herself, so it's perfect fit. And it's so important because now they can work. And we've got 3 classrooms we're slowly going to convert into workplace stations. So instead of somebody working remote at home, which I'm sorry, I couldn't work remote at home. I suck at it. There's 100 things to distract me. It's terrible. I cannot work at home. When I was in the hospital, I just went nuts. It's like, get me back to my office. But working here, now they have somebody who can help them focus. Now they can do a job. Now they can help others. And we're only doing it with charities. We're not taking on anybody who's not a charity, because we want to be able to give back to the community. That is so important to us, giving back. Come look this way at our temporary kitchen and our new kitchens. This is our dinky temporary kitchen, but it works, People can train here. Oops. So it's just a small kitchen with 3 stoves, and we're getting people their certifications out of here, and we're getting people jobs out of here. It's a start, right? Wait till you see the ones being built. This is the starting point. We've graduated over 75 students out of that tiny little place into jobs. Oh yeah, we work with them. We work with DVR. We get them their jobs. We work with their employers. We set up any kind of adaptions that are needed. We handle the whole thing. This is my new crazy. I just received that grant, that $850,000 grant from Daniel's Fund to build 3 training kitchens and 1 production kitchen to take the skills chips all through the state. So Daniel's Fund gave us all that money just to start building this social enterprise to help fund more people getting jobs. So the people working help to fund the future people getting jobs. Because that's what's important. Okay, we need that pride, and our kids need that pride just as well as we do. One more section, I'll let you guys, we'll go back and you can ask me silly questions and I can give you bad answers. Oh, thanks.
Testing for all, I mean, like
Yeah.
kids as well.
Oh yeah, we do from age 3 up.
I run a tutoring company and I work with Che, which is another
Oh,
DROC
yeah.
school. So I work with a lot of homeschoolers and people are always wanting to know where to go. So now I have a resource, another resource.
Yes. Like I said, we give space to other charities to use because, I'm sorry, why pay $5,000 to do a fundraiser when that money could go to help somebody? It's just, it makes no sense to me. So we have all this space, it's all ours. And down there in that corner is our cafe about to open. And we are so excited because working just Monday through Friday, we'll be able to have 6 students in their training, which is really, really, really awesome to me. To me, that's the most important thing, is to provide a training site. And along here, I just want to show you those, and then we'll go back and answer questions. These are our kitchens coming. If you look at our training kitchens here, that's our cafe downstairs. This is our culinary kitchen, and it's got this front huddle area. So no matter what your disability is, and we have two sight challenge students who are in our culinary program, they'll be able to watch the teacher and watch the demos and do everything. So it's totally inclusive what we're doing here. And it's not only for that. I'm sorry, my kids, I love my son. He's so smart. He's such an idiot. There is nothing that kid can't burn. Absolutely nothing. He made a can of corn. How do you burn a can of corn? And he figured out how to. So I have him training right now, and I swear to God, he almost burned my kitchen down. So it's like, so we've made a burn-proof kitchen. And this is our baking kitchen that for our kids that are, I don't care who you are, I can get you a baking job. Right now, you give me 3 months and I'm gonna get you a $25 an hour doing cake decorating, because that's how many they need. I could get this whole room in here and they'd still be coming to me for more students. So it's a big deal what we can do, and there's so many jobs out there. I'm gonna grab that paperwork I left on my desk. If anybody likes Captain America or Batman, you gotta look in my office. You can come look, I'm serious. It's fun. You think I'm kidding? I'm not joking.
The Rocketeer.
Yes, oh, you know it. Oh my gosh, I told you guys. Look at this. This is my Batman. Every year for my anniversary, my husband gets me a different Batman piece. These are Swarovski crystal, Batman and Batmobile. I'm a geek. Okay, I am a total nerd. I admit, total nerddom here. And that's a real metal Captain America shield. We're the ones who do, every year we started 3 years ago, the trunk or treat for the special needs community. That's us. I started that because my one son, Brian, he couldn't understand why he had to stand behind the door and give out the candy instead of trick-or-treating. So, well, all my kids at Special Olympics all felt that way. So we started in 2021, COVID, and we still had 185 people show up, adults. Then we did the next year. We had 350 show up. It's like, okay, cool. We're really making some progress here. Third year, 500. Third year, a bunch of parents came to me and said, how come my kid can't go? They have a disability. They want to go too, but they're younger. My kid's in a wheelchair. they can't trick or treat. If my kid has seizure disorder, they can't, or my kid has autism and behaviors, we let them come. So last year, we had 801 trunk or treaters here. We do it every year with the DAV. The DAV, all the disabled vets come and they help us plan it all for months before. And then we get all the candy donations and we open up our doors and we put on this and we use your bags. Your leftover yellow bags from Parents Challenge are the trick-or-treating bags every year. So and the press comes. It's the biggest event for the special needs community in the state every year. And it just started because my kid said he couldn't go he was depressed from not being able to trick-or-treat. He's 35. He still can't understand it, but we love Brian. He's a big teddy bear. So that's what we do. So come on back. I can do questions, and I got the psych eval paperwork. It's a big school. It is almost a quarter-mile round trip from my office to the front desk and back. Oh my gosh, I had to quit wearing Fitbit because my doctor kept yelling at me. Yeah, I still have to see, I still have to go through PT twice a week because I was in that coma so long and my muscles locked. It turns out when you die, certain things happen, and one of the problems is my muscles separated from my bones because I was dead so long. So I've had to go through 19 surgeries to repair all the damage. I wasn't. You think so. I did not go to heaven. I did not see that white light. I got stuck in short person hell. Okay? Seriously went to short person hell. That's what my son called it. So everyone's like, did you see a white light? Did you see a white light? All I could remember is I was stuck in a room, and every day the nurse and doctor would come in and say, you have to hit the button to get out of the room. Well, the button was above the door, and I'm a short woman. And I kept trying to move things. Everything was chained down. I over and over remember this being stuck in a room. And then finally I hit somebody and hit them. When I went to reach the button, I woke up. That's how I remember. That is my near-death experience, being in a coma for a month. Was short person hell. My sons are all tall. They're all 6 feet, 6'1", except my oldest, the Native American Hispanic one, that is 5'4" if he stretches. All the other boys are huge. So, yeah, they all tease me about being in short person hell. It's like, thank you. I've got forms if you guys want to take these. We've got plenty of flyers. Questions? God, you must have so many questions. Yes?
I have 2 questions.
Go for it. We're here.
My oldest has had like full evaluation.
Yeah.
I requested his pediatrician sent over the referral for my youngest, and Medicaid denied that one because he doesn't have like any kind of diagnosis through the pediatrician, but he's got some like anxiety and things going on. How would testing work through you all if his insurance?
What insurance?
Medicaid.
Yeah, we take Medicaid all day long.
They've denied him getting testing.
It doesn't matter. They can't. It's a good try. They tell you they deny it because they want the pediatrician to refer it.
The pediatrician did refer.
Right. We just go and we call the pediatrician, we get the referral. We do these all day long because Medicaid's really good at saying, no, you can't have that. Well, you just don't want to pay. And by the way, all of you are going to have your kid denied at least once by Social Security. It's a really fun experience. And then once you finally get Social Security, because they denied your kid who is, severely disabled due to beatings and everything else and brain injury and everything, once they deny, and you finally get it for your kid, every 5 years, they make him go through a reeval. He doesn't grow a new brain. He does not get better, but I have to reeval him every 5 years, and every time I give him an earful. What a stupid waste of taxpayer money because you think my kid's going to grow a new brain. I mean, come on, really? Have you met my kid? It's not happening. So yeah, you've got to have a sense of humor when you have a special needs kid. They teach you patience, they teach you a sense of humor, and they teach you how to advocate and how to yell to get your kids the services they deserve.
So do you guys have like a counselor that will, we can present our child's need base and you can list and help us get into the programs that would best suit them?
Yeah, that's, you just met Chantel.
Okay, so do we just call up?
Yeah.
Say, hey,
Yeah, and you actually, I usually meet with families first off because I'm the most experienced here, 30 years of this.
and
Go ahead.
so your high school, your BOCES?
Yeah.
Is that, is that a diploma or is that?
Oh yeah, it's a high school diploma. BOCES is an alternative program for where it's not charter, because charter has to fall under a school district. It's its own school district, just for kids who don't fit the norm.
And they get all their core subjects?
Get all their core subjects and all their vocational. We are a vocational BOCES. We're all about job training.
What does
And
BOCES stand for?
oh God,
Okay,
don't ask me.
no worries.
Coma brain, remember? I have trouble remembering my kids' names before the coma, after the coma, forget it. It's, hey, you know who, damn it. Yeah.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
My son just got his updated testing, psychology, whatever that one is.
Yeah.
Will TRICARE come in and pay for the functional test since he's just had his other?
How old is he?
He's 15.
Sometimes. We have to apply and we have to talk to the base doctor to get the referral for a functional assessment.
I can handle that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We work with a lot of the pediatricians up there. They treated my kids. So we know them well.
Get the referral to come here first, or if we already have one for him off base.
No, that's fine then.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's, again, it's so frustrating. Here's your referral. Oh, by the way, it's an 18-month wait. And oh, by the way, you're military, so screw it. They don't even put you on the wait list. Yes, ma'am.
So I just have like a meeting with the IEP. Do we need, or I guess, can we sign a release, or do we need to get the new plan that they put in place?
You're going to bring it over to me, and we're going to go over it with a fine-tooth comb and see where they screwed you. Okay?
Multiple.
Yes, multiple places, and they pick on moms, and in my case, my husband, and yet tell you what your kid can't have, and that's bull. Your kid can have what you demand. And if they can't provide it, then you can sue them. And there are so let's face some facts. Most of the school districts here are being sued, especially D20 and D11. Yes, ma'am.
What about, since I think a lot of us are in the private school sector.
Yeah.
What about kids that are in private school?
They can come here for transitions, the 18 to 21, if the private school has a sped teacher that will follow them. We have school district kids from every school district that comes here. We have them from 11, 20, 49, 2, 12. Their kids come here for the 3-year transitions program.
So that's after high school.
Right. During high school, unless they're in our BOCES program, they can't come.
The state does not have to provide help to kids who are in private school today.
They do not. Not in this state. A lot of states have that mandatory. Nope, not in this state. Yes, ma'am.
For kiddos that have IEPs through whatever district,
Mm-hmm.
do you guys have people that will come to IEP meetings and sit there and
Oh, yeah.
do all of that stuff?
We go to
Okay.
every IEP we can. They see us coming and they suddenly are very, very generous on what they give up. Especially when I show up. Oh, Mrs. Van Ness, you're here? Yeah, I'm here. Because, guys, it's about our kids, and school districts have very limited budgets. So if they can take from your kid, great, helps their budget. Okay? So that's what they're going to do. and they're not going to tell you the truth, and it's sad. I literally, we came from Vandenberg Air Force Base. I literally had my lawyer on speed dial there. It was so ridiculous what they kept trying to take away from my kid. It was so bad. I just speed dial, and it was really great because he had a Down syndrome sister, so he gave us free service.
I was gonna say, what if you can't afford a lawyer?
Oh, you can't. I couldn't. Oh my gosh, I had no money.
I would be lying if I said my lawyer will call you.
No, but that's the cool
I
part.
don't know who they are, but they will.
So we have a couple of lawyers who volunteer services here. Okay? Because, again, we had somebody who needed them, and so I started to call lawyers till I found some that would help us.
Gosh, you're like a one-woman shop.
No, and you know what? We found that out when I died because it was so sudden.
Say it so casually.
So,
When I died.
So did you die in a coma?
no, I was dead. I died, so I got off a plane in California for my sister's birthday. I had 3 of my special needs kids with me. I was signing into the hotel and I dropped dead, multiple organ failure. I had a intestinal rupture. My stomach separated from my intestines. I had 14 hours of surgery the first day, and I coded on the table 4 times. Second day, I had another 12 hours of surgery, became septic, and slipped into a coma for a month, and then spent another 3 months in the ICU before getting to lying and getting on a plane to come back here because I was stuck in California. My family was here. We used to always joke, my husband's worst fear is that I die and leave him the children. And then I died and left him the children. I went from an 800 credit rating to a 450 credit rating because he couldn't figure out the bills. He missed every doctor's appointment. He missed everything. He was a colonel. He traveled 250 days a year with the Air Force. He was never the dad at home. We'd see him 100 days a year. Hi, bye. He was on the IG team. He was always gone. And so I raised the kids and I did everything. So that's why the joke about, if I die, he would freak out. And I died and he freaked out. So now we have people, I have a whole team. I even have an oh shit list. Oh shit, I died. Here's everything. Here's everything you need to know, damn it. So yeah. And so you've got to have a sense of humor when we joke. My kids call me a zombie. I say, I'm a phoenix rising from the ashes. No, you're a damn zombie. Yeah, so you got to have a sense of humor on it. But no, I have a whole team now. I cannot do this all myself. With that new contract working with the youth detention centers, I thought we'd start with Spring Creek. Okay, no problem. It's a small group. No, they gave us all 4 of them at once. It's like, damn it, we needed it in all of them now. So suddenly I'm running around trying to do logistics on 4 centers, coordinating all the psych, all the educational, all the everything. So yeah, no, I've got operations people I've been bringing up under me to, God forbid, I ever go down again, I've got it covered. And this wonderfulness does not go away. And we have a lot of volunteers. We've got a lot of people who come and they'll help me out with different things and everything. And then I got a team of wonderful kids here helping me with a lot of the web stuff and stuff like that. So it's a whole community here. That's the cool part. And again, you see the Sharks, man. That's our SPED team, our our Special Olympics team. We're the Skills Sharks. We play all the sports. We do it all. So we just try and have community. But I don't coach anymore. After I died, they said I could not coach. So they don't let me run up and down the court anymore, yelling at people, going, come on, you can do it. Nah, no more of that. I had to give that up. Yes.
On behalf of all of us, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, guys. Come grab forms, come grab chips, grab my card. If you need me, call me, okay?
In just a moment.
Yes.
We'll grab all the stuff.
Okay.
I just want to ask everyone to pull out your QR code real quick, fill out our Parents Challenge survey. Tell us how much you want us to have Randee again. You guys have been
Thank
amazing,
you.
and this has been really fun. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to get that in. You did it already?
Do you need your
Does anyone
camera
need
back?
the QR code?
Cool.